Welcome to part 27 of the return of Christ. Yes, the return of Jesus. This is October the 30th, 2024. And I only have time for a couple bits this morning, but I really hate to go to work or do anything else or to start my day without giving God some form of praise, worship, whether it's just praise at home, listening to my gospel music and praising Him, or just me praying and lifting holy hands, singing myself. I'm not a big singer, but when the Lord moves on me, I do sing. Um, but certainly we should give God something every day. He wakes us up anew every day. His mercies are new every day. And we sometimes forget He's still in charge. A lot of back can start steamrolling over us, and it just seems like it just keeps going sometimes. Yeah, I've been there. And when you get outside the will of God and you're not putting on the whole armor of God every day, these things are going to occur. But even if you are not outside the will of God, the closer you get to God, the more the devils will fight you. I will put it that way. And that has been my issue. And the harder I fight to get to know more about the Lord, the more it seems like the devil is fighting me. Why? Because he don't want you to obtain the goal. He don't want you to have victory over him. He doesn't want you to become an overcomer. He doesn't want you to know the truth. He doesn't want you to love the truth. He wants you to love his lies and his deceptions. And when you start stepping outside of those deceptions, he gets angry and he will attack you. If he can't kill you, if he can't steal you, he'll try to kill you. If he can't kill you, then he tries to just destroy you, one way or another. But that doesn't matter because of Romans 8:28. Because all things work to the greater good to them that love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. So as long as you just keep abiding in the Lord and keep abiding in what the Lord wants you to do and being obedient to the Lord, it don't matter how dark the days seem. Just keep trusting in the Lord. The light is coming. Goodness is coming. Things are not always going to be bleak and bad. But anyways, I want to get back into this book of Timothy and cover some more of it. So let's get back into 1 Timothy chapter 4. I'm going to start off at verse 7. And we were talking yesterday about how we have to put people in remembrance of these things. That's verse 6. But anyways, jumping on into verse 7. But refuse profane and old wives' fables, and exercise yourself rather to godliness. For bodily exercise profiteth little, but good godliness is profitable to all things, having promise of life that now is, and of that which is to come. This is a faithful saying and worthy of all exception. That means this is a trustworthy thing. For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach. See, we're told we're going to suffer these things. Therefore we both labor and suffer reproach. because we trust in the living God, who is the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe. These things command and teach. Let no man despise your youth. That means look down on it. Don't let anybody look down on your youth. But be an example. And I kept telling y'all we're supposed to be the example to the world. And y'all act like I was nuts or something. Be you an example of the believers in the word, in conversation, which means conduct, in charity, which we know is love, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Till I come, give audience to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. That means give attention to exhortation, or to reading, to exhortation, which is preaching, and to doctrine, which is teaching. And this is what we're supposed to be doing. Neglect not the gift that is in you, which was given you by prophecy, with the laying on of hands of the I can't never say that word. Presbytery. Meditate upon the things. Meditate on these things. That means think on them. Give yourself wholly to them, that your profiting may appear to all. That means that your progress may appear to all. That way they can see your growth in the Lord. Take heed to yourselves and to the doctrine. Continue in them. For in doing this you shall both save yourself and them that hear you. Now, let's get on into chapter 5. Because I do love the Timothy's. I love the whole book. I know I keep saying that. But I can't help it. Some things, there's a lot of nuggets, as Brother Bill Ratliff would say, a lot of nuggets in these pages that's good for your soul. It's better than a chicken nugget. And if you hear this and you believe it, or you read it and you believe it, and you start striving to measure up to this word, the Lord will see that. He is faithful. We got to fill the water pots all the way. We can't leave them half empty. The Lord can't put new wine in us if we don't fill the water pot to the brim. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. If you know what people say is the first miracle that he ever did was the miracle of the wine. And he commanded those servants to fill the water pots to the brim before he turned the water into wine. Well, if you don't fill your pot with pure water to the brim, You're not going to be new wine. And you have to go through the purification process. And it's a pressing way. And yes, you have to be willing to give things up, things that are hurting you, things that are not good for you, things that are not edifying to God, things that are not good for your soul. But anyways, getting on into chapter 5. Rebuke not an elder. Now, this is not just talking about old people. This is talking about people who are spiritually aged above you. That's what an elder is. Someone who is spiritually older than you. Not physically, spiritually. You know, you shouldn't be mistreating elderly people either that are physically older than you. But this is referring to spiritual age. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father. And the younger men as brother. The elder women as mothers. The younger as sisters, with all purity. See, this is what I do. I don't look at people like worldly people look at people. I look at people through spiritual eyes. It's just an automatic thing that the Lord has always had me doing. It's the Lord, it's not me. Anyways, going right on. Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show pity at home and to repay their parents, for that is good and acceptable before God. Well, just because you might have such people existing in the world don't mean that these people pay attention to you. Some of us are just alone. We have the Lord. That's who we have. Just because you have family that is present in the world doesn't mean that that family wants anything to do with you. Because not everybody's family does. Not all of us are blessed to have a family that loves us like other people. So we walk alone. Anyways, verse 5. Now she that is a widow indeed and desolate, that means alone, forsaken, trusts in God and continues in supplications and prayers night and day. But she that lives in pleasure is dead while she lives. Even if you're a widow, you ain't supposed to be out here fornicating and doing these things. That ain't no excuse. You supposed to be being kept just like anybody else until the Lord provide you somebody else. And then you still supposed to be kept till marriage. Same as always. You ain't supposed to be out here fornicating. Same for the men. It don't matter if you're male or female in that. You ain't supposed to be out here fornicating around and doing all these things. I'll see you in the next part and we'll pick up at verse 6.